So welcome back to the Dadskillz car channel. We're back in the Honda again, and we're having a look at the stereo. This is sort of the second take on the stereo. Now, what I did before was I bought some random wiring harness. It came with a fascia, which I used, but the wiring harness, now having looked into it, seems a bit limited in its functionality. And the steering controls, these are the new ones, the steering wheel controls, I don't know whether I damaged that when I put it in. It said don't connect it when it's live and all this sort of stuff. So I might have damaged that. So I've been online to a company called In-Car Tech. They seem to have some really nicely packaged, nicely made wiring harnesses. So we're going to almost basically replace the whole lot. And what it means is this one, I think I can retain my rear camera, which is missing. I've already put in the DAB aerial. I've got an adapter for that. That works. I'll show you that when everything's apart again. And then we've got wiring harness, take 2. Now this includes the power and the aux output for the subwoofer, which I realise I have under the passenger seat, which is nice. And then we've got this little patch lead that goes into this black box there. So I'm going to take this all apart. Again, you don't need to see that. You've seen it already. And then once I'm in, I will show you what we're going to do. Once you've done this a couple of times, it's very easy to get a bit blasé about it, but you've got to try and still do it without injuring anything. So that's that done. Out she comes, and this reveals all the wiring harnesses. So this is what I put in before that I haven't actually shown you in a video yet. So I had to get an adapter. Let's hold it up here somewhere. So I had to get an adapter. So I put my DAB aerial in, and I've snuck it just up there under the dash, so I don't have to run it up any A-pillars or anything. So let's get this disconnected and we'll assemble all the new harness and that. That can stay there. Let's unhook that there. Right, that is it. I need this bit because that goes into the radio. Go on, 8 come. Right, okay, so all this bit. Put that on the floor. Somewhere in the other instructions for the other harness, it said something about connecting this black box in certain conditions. Could break it before you've even started. So I'm just going to have a quick read of these instructions, and then we'll see where we are. Right, okay, so harness is created. I haven't plugged it into the car yet, but we've got harness that came with the stereo into these ISO, whatever, standard connectors. This insert here is for the rear camera, and that's the output for the camera. And then this harness, we've got steering wheel controls that will plug in via that to the back of the stereo that says remote. And that may work straight away. I haven't read the bit on that yet. Or there's a preset, and then there's also one that you set the functions. You hold the buttons down and set the functions. We'll find out when we turn it on. And that one is the sub. So let's connect this to the car. Is that the right way? Yeah. Right, that's that. And then we will have this one. Is the only one that fits that. Cool. So, back of the radio. Back of the radio. We then have, that's the only one we need to find now. So, I think I can see 2 options. And that one's it. It's a bit like Lego, this. It's all fairly straightforward. Because every connector is a different size and correlates to a different thing. So it says in the instructions, make sure the ignition is off, which it is. So what's that? That's a sub. rear front sub. That goes in that one. What else do we have? Where's all my bits and pieces gone? We have that, steering controls. That will go into remote. Now, the only thing I might not have is the microphones, and that's a bit annoying. But I'm not sure yet. So, trying not to make a bird's nest. This can come out. That's the rear camera. That's in. That's already connected. Normal standard aerial is already connected. Then we have, go that side. Power for the stereo. Right, I'm going to push all this back in and we'll see what we've got. Ah! Okay. Ignition is now on. This is now on, so I guess so I've disconnected it. Everything will be lost, so we'll turn that off. The demo on this Sony thing is like a sort of advertisement that comes up if you don't turn it off. Let's go for a tuner. Yeah, so all that's gone.
They had children.
We'll turn that down. No, don't copyright claim me. Right. Radio 4. Talking. Okay, we're saved on that. So, steering wheel controls. Yeah, boy. Excellent. It works without having to reprogram it. That's brilliant. Right, I'm going to turn the car on and we'll see if we have a... Let's put it in reverse. I wonder, does that trigger it? No. Putting it in reverse doesn't trigger it. But, there's the rear camera. Now, it's almost not worth having. Look at it. But we've got a rear camera. We've got the sub. We've got DAB. And all we're missing now is the microphone. So that's the last thing to try and do. Although that might be slightly tricky, that one. We might have to put an external third-party one in. But that's brilliant. This stuff looks really good, this in-car tech stuff. I would highly recommend this. Don't do as I do, which on the first attempt, I bought something generic from a generic auction site. And it was quite expensive for what it was, but this is the real deal. This is good stuff. In-car tech. Find them online. There we go. Right, that's it from Dadskillz Cars today. I will see you again. Goodbye.